Speaking of defense, we have to talk scheme. Up until last year, Bronco Mendenhall played that 3-3-5, which was very confusing, but also gave up a lot of big plays. Last year they went to the 3-4, worked very, very well. The defense played great all season. Brandon, what do you look for the defense to do this year? What scheme are they going to use?
3-4. I mean, how do you switch from the success you had last year? It's in plays. Coach Hill was brought in because he knows the 3-4 and can teach it. So the pieces are in place to have the 3-4 at BYU for a long time. We all know that BYU, the type of athletes they get, there's always a dearth at cornerback position and overall speed, which you need a zone-heavy scheme, which the 3-4 provides, where in the 3-3-5, you need quick guys that can make plays, and BYU doesn't always have that. It makes all the sense in the world for BYU to stick with the 3-4. But you look at the signing class they had this past year, some very good safeties. So I don't know if Bronco's going to be flirting in his mind to switch back. And he loves the 3-3-5, but Bronco more than that, he likes success, obviously. And the success he had with the 3-4 last year was, I think it's going to prove to be the base defensive scheme at BYU for a long time.
Yeah, I would say, talking to Bronco last year, he expressed some frustration that there weren't more calls for him to make defensively. Things were working so well out of the basic scheme that he's like, well, I could blitz, but I don't need to because this is working. Right. Yeah. So he's had some transition issues as he's gone from that 3-3-5, which was more aggressive, to a 3-4 that's maybe a little bit more playing everything in front of them. But it certainly worked last year. They were the top defensive team in the Mountain West Conference. Yeah. And obviously the rest of the teams and the rest of the media in the conference didn't recognize that because only one player, Cameron Jensen, made the first team all-conference team.
Ridiculous.
And they held teams to less than 15 points a game. Yeah. So it's a good scheme all around. A lot of guys contribute, and I definitely think they're sticking with the 3-4.
Yeah, all the elements are in place. I mean, bringing in, I just don't see BYU switching back to a 3-3-5. Brandon mentioned, they seem to get a bevy, just an incredible amount of talent at linebacker position. How do you switch back to a defense that doesn't feature the linebackers, a position that you get a lot of talent at? Plus, they brought in Coach Hill. Coach Hill is a master of the 3-4-4. I mean, that guy there, he's been around, he's coached that system, and he knows that system very well. I just don't see BYU going back to the 3-3-5 anytime soon.
And also with the 3-4, they're going to add some wrinkles this year. I was talking to Kelly Popping yesterday, and he said they're going to be blitzing a lot more this year, and they're going to throw in some wrinkles. It's got to develop. You can't have the same scheme every year. You got to adjust it to the personnel you have and go with that, but the system is in place.
It'll be interesting. The one thing to think about, though, is the 3-4-4 won't catch people off guard anymore.
No.
The conference, the conference will know, okay, BYU is running a 3-4-4. It'll be interesting to see how successful the defense is now that other teams have played against it and how BYU's implemented it and the talent that they've used to run it, how successful it will be in the second year.
So it's unanimous. You guys all believe in the
3-4.
3-4.
But you see Bronco putting his own twist, his own stamp on the way they're going to do the 3-4.
And it comes down to execution. You got to execute the defense, and if you execute it right, it doesn't matter what the other team does.
Sure.
Well, that's what Bronco would say, absolutely.
Execution.